Come with me to a beefy place. We can run away. Run away with me to Beefington Square. What do you think would be in Beefington Square, Alex?
In Beefington Square?
Yeah, Beefington Square.
Oh, I hope there's a little bacon shop. Yeah.
The Beefington Square at the
It would be
in the center of Beeftown, USA.
It would be a bacon shop and a river made of beef stew.
Ooh, geez.
Yeah, it smells so bad.
It sounds so smelly.
You'd
Everything
slip and
just
fall
festering
everywhere.
in the light.
Just super greasy.
Imagine like slipping into it at night.
Ooh, vile.
Ouch.
That sounds terrible.
I sprained my elbow.
You know how many
in
animals would
Beefington Square?
infiltrate Beefington Square at any
How many
point?
animals?
Oh my god.
There'd be raccoons, like mad raccoons.
Yeah, that'd be so gross. Anyway.
There's like with deer that fell in that are all like... all the wolves are like, thank you.
Hello everyone, welcome to the Bucket of Beef Show, episode 6.
Episode 6.
Episode 6. My name is Alex Morrison.
My name is Luke
I
Hodson.
love the break in there.
Thank you.
That was really nice.
I've been trying to work on my pauses.
Yeah?
I pause too much when I perform.
You think so?
Oh, 100%. And rather than better myself, I think I'm going to lean into it.
Just indulge?
Yeah, make it a choice.
Love it.
Rather than a happenstance.
Yeah, so we have, again, some really great films for you this week. This week, we haven't filmed a pod, for our main channel in, 2 weeks.
In a minute, yeah, I had a little trip that took me out of the game for a little bit.
Yeah.
I am back. I'm excited about this podcast because I believe this is the first one that we've had where the choices have been up to the audience.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
That is correct. This is the first one with choices left to the audience. This is the first one we've done since we've released any episodes.
That's true. And just as a quick reminder, the way that we're picking these episodes, we put out 2 polls. One poll goes to our Instagram page and Facebook as well. Mm-hmm. And then there's another poll that's exclusive only to Patreon subscribers.
And we are alternating them, so our goof pick will go to the Patreons 1 week, and then the next week the Patreons will get our regular film pick.
So if you do want to have full control over what you are listening to on this podcast, be sure to subscribe to our Patreon channel. It's only $4 a month.
Patreon.com/bucketofbeefshow. You know the deal. You've heard it before.
Please, please, please help us.
Yeah.
I need to eat something eventually.
Yeah, we're doing really well though.
Oh, we're doing great.
And thank you guys.
We don't need you guys.
No, don't say that.
We need you. I'm sorry.
Thank you guys for sticking with us on this podcast. And we are building a little community, and we see you, and we're just our gratitude is swelling every day. Seeing the numbers and you guys reaching out to us for film suggestions, which do go directly to the polls. We hear you. We're listening. Thank you. Thank you
so much.
So today we are looking at a movie from the year 2000.
It is very much a 2000s film.
I really didn't think this one would win the poll. I wasn't certain it would. And then I saw and I was like, oh, fuck.
I think this is the thing. I feel like both of us sometimes underestimate the power of nostalgia.
Yeah, I think so, too.
And this movie is dripping with nostalgia.
That's so interesting, because I wouldn't necessarily think so. But the movie we watched is called Miss Congeniality.
Miss Congeniality. That is the actual theme song of the film.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
In my world.
In your world?
Yeah.
I love it. So we're going to try a synopsis off the cuff.
For
this episode.
Can I try the synopsis for this one, and then you can do the synopsis for the other one?
That sounds phenomenal.
So this synopsis comes straight from my heart, from the mind of Luke Hodson. Enter the year 2000. A no-nonsense FBI agent by the name of Gracie. Don't remember her last name, unfortunately.
Gracie Hart.
Gracie Hart.
I knew that.
A no-nonsense FBI agent by the name of Gracie Hart gets thrown into the pageant world when they learn that there is potentially a terrorist plot to do some bad stuff at the Miss USA pageant.
Is that it?
Armed with her wits and a few hidden pistols.
Whoa.
Can this no-nonsense tough cookie man-hater find the true meaning of friendship while at the same time countering terrorism?
I loved that.
How's that synopsis?
You need to be writing for like Netflix or like you need to be writing.
It was a little bit of a wandering one there.
I loved it. Oh my goodness.
So what were your thoughts, your initial thoughts on Miss Congeniality?
Well, because I mean, this movie goes all over the place. So from the very start, we meet a little girl, Sandra Bullock, on a playground, and she's witnessing these two little boys going at it, like they're fighting, and she beats up the little bully boy. And then she goes to the other boy. She's like, I like you. You're a nice guy. And he's like, you just defended me. You're a girl. Don't touch me. Yeah. I hate you.
Men don't like strong women.
Yeah.
According to Miss Congeniality.
And that was kind of the initial message. And I was like, okay, I can catch a vibe. Mm-hmm. Like, I understand what's going on. And I'm not so sure that this movie sticks to its guns in terms of, like, keeping that message a big part of it.
It 100% flip-flops
It
constantly.
flip-flops constantly. How the amount of like we almost decided to count how many times Sandra Bullock gets her ass smacked as an FBI agent by other FBI agents.
The amount of like of just sexual harassment that's just like teaming within this agency is crazy.
It's vile.
And honestly, like looking back, I'm like, did this actually just like happen in all facets of American life
at this point in time, like, in the year 2000?
Just because like how casual all of this is,
yeah.
Like, and it's not like no one gets called out ever.
It's super weird.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And then also like the main like one of the main like purveyors and like driving forces of all this like sexual misconduct is the love interest of the film.
God.
Which, he does end up, sometimes he's like, come on, guys, cut her some slack. Like, the amount of, like,
but he
hidden cameras in dressing rooms in this.
Yeah.
I'm like, imagine if this, like, was to go public in this world.
Yeah.
Like, this would be such a scandal.
But you notice he only is like, come on, guys.
She's an agent.
Once they have like odd sexual encounters, like it's
because
like,
then he feels like it's a threat to him.
It's a threat to him.
Like,
he's not gonna
fuck?
get any if he doesn't do this.
Crazy.
So weird. So yeah, what about you? What are your initial thoughts on this? And then we'll get into kind of like the thick plot and supporting characters and things like that.
Yeah, I mean, this is a very lighthearted film. They kind of try to like interject some more serious things within it, but they never really like move beyond the goofiness, which in my opinion I think is a good thing for this kind of movie. Like this is clearly like a sit down, have fun, like little popcorn haha movie, you know.
This had a lot of like good laughs in it.
It did. Like Sandra Bullock is great in this film.
Oh, she's phenomenal.
I think that it's cast really well.
Yeah.
It's kind of like it feels like a Sunday morning like mystery vibe type thing. You know what I mean?
Sort of, yeah.
Maybe not. Maybe a little more scandalous.
I would say scandalous because there really is not much of a mystery in this.
No.
It's kind of hilarious how the FBI couldn't catch like a pageant.
I know.
A pageant queen and her son.
Yeah.
Like that's just
well, and they also just like they're like, I wonder who, and then they're just like, we'll just show him.
Yeah,
you know, like they don't find it out really. Like there's suspicions, but they never get to like concretely confirm them. So it kind of like where there could be tension and like, are they getting this right? Yeah. Instead, they choose to be like, it's a like.
No, they're like, we caught the guy.
Yeah, it's a movie about counterterrorism, but it's very low stakes.
Super, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Because it's what's called the citizen. The guy is the citizen who like the FBI has been after for so long, and then like toward the end they're like, we caught him, and they're like, wait, no, there's no way you caught this guy, and like,
but they did.
I guess so, but it would have been cool to kind of...
the citizen seemed a little more interesting.
Yeah, for sure. Because they do really, like... There's a scene where, like, the quote-unquote citizen is making the bomb, and supposedly it's the son of the pageant queen, whatever his name is. And, like, there are clippings of, like, the citizen all over the wall. And I'm like... Where?
Also,
how? Why?
the citizen, he's done so many horrendous things... but this is still a world without fear.
Yeah.
You know, they're all like, blah, 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 blah. He blew up a stadium last week. Like, oh well.
The FBI is just really chilling, honestly.
Yeah.
So we get about 15 minutes into this movie where we meet Michael Caine, which this cast is very stacked.
I love the cast. The whole cast of this movie is really fun.
Yeah.
And they really, I feel like they really understood the assignment for all these things.
Yeah, they
you
do.
know?
Yeah. So we have Michael Caine. We meet about 15 minutes into the movie, who is the stylist that the FBI hires to make Sandra Bullock, I guess, gorgeous.
Hot.
Which is it's like an odd thing to say. I feel like she's still hot.
Oh, she's gorgeous.
And, like,
Sandra
no
Bullock is
matter
absolutely
what.
beautiful.
No matter what, she's hot.
Yeah.
And it kind of struck me because then we get to the pageant and nobody else has like a stylist or assistant.
Yeah.
Like it's just Michael Caine.
But also that they're like everyone else already has a stylist. But they're all doing themselves.
Yeah, like there's no one. It's just
Yeah.
Michael Caine in that dressing room. And then you were like, is he bi or like gay? And you're like, I was like, I feel like if he wouldn't be going into the dressing room if he was just like casual bi man,
Yeah.
grabbing boobs and stuff in there. That was.
Why are you assuming all bi men are just gonna grab boobs and ass?
I'm not. He's a stylist though, so I mean, like, he'd feel like that
You're
may
saying
be his job.
Well, and honestly, like within the world of this movie, it wouldn't be too far out of pocket. I think
Yeah.
Michael Caine's the only person that doesn't grope another person in this film.
He's the only one. Yeah.
Yeah, he's the only
Oh,
innocent
and
male.
William Shatner is kind of.
Yeah, William Shatner's innocent too.
Yeah, he's just
I
like,
love,
I'm old.
I
and I'm
loved
here.
William Shatner in this. He's getting fired. He's not bitter though. He's like, I've run my course.
Yeah.
I'm feeling fine. You know.
He's a good guy. Let's talk about some of the other Miss States in here. So we have Miss Rhode Island. who
Love
is
Miss
just
Rhode Island.
So
I
kind.
love all
so
of
sweet.
all of the states.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't like Miss Texas.
Yeah, Miss Tex. She was a little crass for you.
She was a little crass.
They're all very much like personifications of their states.
Yeah.
Very much so.
I like Miss New York. She was my favorite.
Yeah, Miss New York was cool.
Yeah, she was very kind. I don't even know where to go with this, honestly.
What did you think about the relationship between all the pageant ladies?
Like, there was a point like toward the end where like Gracie is kind of defeated, and Michael Caine leaves and is like, well, the FBI told me that I should leave right now, otherwise I won't get paid, so like you're on your own. And she shows up into the pageant dressing room, but like right before she shows up, all the pageant queens are like, oh, she's not gonna come, she kind of sucks. Like, I don't know, I don't really like her, she was never gonna make it in this anyway, who did she think she was? And then the second she shows up, they're like, baby, what's wrong? Oh my god, we have to get you looking great. And just like the duality.
They're just talking shit.
Yeah, I don't like it though.
You don't like it?
No.
A little two-faced for you?
Yeah, I don't like that. It really bothers me.
I like the little relationships they all have together. It's a little catty.
It was
Maybe
nice
a little,
when they went
maybe a little
out.
It was. That's what I was about to say.
Yeah.
I love the scene when they go out.
Yeah.
It's so fun. I really like that, and I really like. I really like Miss Rhode Island.
Yeah.
She's like so earnest and pure and ditzy and like
they're
the
like-
whole like her favorite date and everything.
That was cute.
very cute.
That was cute.
There's a lot of like the film is a little bit of a hot mess at times.
It is, yeah.
But the quips and like the little bits that they have in are so fun that I can't help but smile when I watch it. What did you think of the messaging of like these women aren't just objects, they aren't just ditzy? It's kind of interesting to me because they very much are like take these women seriously and are then like look at how silly they like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's kind of an
yeah.
interesting dichotomy that they have. I've learned in doing this podcast that dichotomy is like my favorite word to use.
Yeah.
I need to brush up my my vocabulary a little more. I need to get it a little more robust.
I mean, it's true. Like, Gracie is the character from the start is like, no, all these women, like, I'm going to show up to this pageant and it's going to suck because they only want world peace. And I don't fuck with world peace. Oh my God. And No, and I think you're absolutely right. I think there are specifically aspects of like when they have their girl time and they're like eating pizza and they really connect, and then they go to the bar and Gracie's like, well, you're just gonna throw this shit up anyway, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, right.
And it's, I don't know,
It's like wholesome and toxic at the same time,
at the same exact time,
you know. Yeah,
but you just don't see in movies anymore. You just don't really
you don't
see
think
that
so?
Not nearly as much. Like I feel like
I
this
think
movie
when you
would
see,
not
I
do
think
well
when
now.
oh no, not at all.
Not at all.
I mean, I think you do. I think you see it in some films, but they're more self-aware about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's definitely it's like aiming for the target, but like kind of grazing by.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. But this movie isn't so much even about the romance either.
No, I would say that the romance is very much a secondary aspect of the film. It's much more
Absolutely.
about the sisterhood and like
Yeah.
them. I do think it's funny that like none of the pageant girls were pissed that Miss Jersey, aka Sandra Bullock's character, like has never been in a beauty pageant, gets fixed into the top 10, and then gets second place, gets runner up to Miss USA after not having, like, all of these girls have put in years of their lives to do this, and then this bitch just like strolls on up with her FBI wax, legs looking great, and then just like beats you in your own game. I was surprised that there wasn't anyone that was a little sour about that.
See, but you know what though? I feel like that makes the most sense though.
Well, 'cause
like that's the most exceptionally rational thing that happens in this movie, I think. Because like there was a bomb in the and like
that is true.
They had to have all been told. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? So like even Miss Texas, who just gets like socked so hard in the face, is like, I love you, thank you.
Yeah. I also like they're like, we're embedding you undercover, but like halfway through the movie they're like very clearly just openly discussing the FBI. Like there's no way that the girls don't know that something's going on, because like we literally have Gracie Hart. Is it Gracie Hart? Is that her last name?
Her real name is
Gracie Hart. Gracie Hart with
because I think that the name they give her is Gracie LaBouche.
Jesus.
I think that's what it is.
But her and the other FBI guy, her kind of love interest, they're like openly discussing the case, like just in the wings of the stage.
Yeah.
Like they're not aiming for a ton of transparency,
Not at
like
all.
toward the middle to the end of the film, for sure.
Yeah. You know, I think did a really great job. Ernie Hudson.
Ernie Hudson was great.
Represent
Ernie Hudson was great. Really liked Ernie Hudson in this. What did you think about the creepy son in this?
I just couldn't imagine looking at that script and being like, is it just all one-liners about Miss Tech's ass?
I know.
You know?
This man was a true deviant. This is like the golden example of like fucking. There's so many fucking like little boys that are like, see, it's only sexual harassment when it's the ugly guy doing it.
Yeah.
With all the handsome guy does it and he's the love interest.
Yeah.
Blah blah. But they put up with fucking the fucking son guy too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just like so much like dealing with sexual harassment
So
in
weird.
this.
I did not.
Yeah.
So this is not your first time viewing it, and
It is not. This is a childhood classic for me.
And I know we had discussed, like with Indiana Jones, like your nostalgia meter,
Yeah.
your regular meter. Where are you at now?
You know, I still honestly kind of liked it the same.
Really?
Yeah, I remember it. Like, I was surprised at like how vividly I remembered so much of this film.
Yeah.
I think it's fun. I mean, it's like definitely got its toxic moments, for sure. But again, it's like, I think it's very much like in the realm of like The Mummy. Like it's very much like a little time capsule for its era.
Yeah.
You know? Like
Yeah.
this like hits like beat for beat like a lighthearted 2000s comedy film.
Yeah.
/ like maybe rom-com vibes. Like they throw a little bit of that in there.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's fun. Like they don't take themselves too seriously. Like the casting's good. I think that the acting is everything that you need it to be in a movie like this. I think it is a little they definitely shoehorn a little bit of like heavier stuff that they just kind of forget about, like very quickly, like with the whole like when you hear about like Miss Rhode Island's sexual assault in the film.
Yeah,
and,
I forgot about that.
And it's kind of one of those things where it's like, how seriously like are you expecting the audience to take this when so many of the other moments of sexual misconduct in this film have been inserted as like a laugh.
Yeah.
You know? I think that was kind of an interesting choice on that. And it does hit. I think it does hit in the movie with that, because it comes after like such a fun like lighthearted girls' night out. But it's still like ultimately kind of forgotten in it. I think it does make you care more about especially Miss Rhode Island, where it's like, oh, this is like, and it's kind of shitty that like the movie kind of takes it as like, oh, we're gonna give this character depth by giving them like trauma. You know what I mean? Which is kind of like a bit of a hard thing to discuss, I think.
It is. It's a hard thing to discuss. But then again, that is also, like, I really do think there are some really incredible moments of reality, because she's like, I've never told anyone this. She says it, and then it is just kind of breezed, like right over.
Yeah.
I mean, Sandra Bullock cares about it, and we care about it in the moment, and then, it's just kind of lost.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. But I mean, like, that could have very well been purposeful.
I think it definitely was.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think they're like, okay, we're like, ha ha ha, but like this is still the real world.
It's so interesting because there are a lot of plot points that just aren't centralized, and most of the plot points in this movie aren't centralized because they do deal with kind of heavy stuff.
They do, yeah.
And it is meant to be just like a lighthearted rom-com. So, I mean, like, you are dealing with terrorism and you're dealing with like eating disorders as like a lighthearted joke, or like, men being shitty, and it's just such a hard thing to wrap your head around in terms of a comedy, and it's just such of its era. The Mummy does it, I think.
Yeah, it's crazy just how many like not realizing and like looking back, like how much like it. I think it's funny that like nowadays everyone's like, oh, like everyone and everything is so hypersexualized and like blah blah blah, but like this is a mess. This is a mess.
It's okay.
But you look back at all these things and like all of like the just clear like objectification of people in like early 2000s and 90s films and like in the 80s and it's all the same.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like nothing. It's just like there are just different like avenues for like the overt sexualization of people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I just think it's funny that I think it's funny that it's so on the nose in these films.
Yeah.
You know?
Just like the message you're conveying to little boys, little girls all over the world.
Yeah.
Why so many people kind of suck.
Yeah.
That's like...
But all that being said, I do have a soft spot for Miss Congeniality. I think it's very fun.
Oh, God.
I do think it's a fun film. I think it's flawed, like a relative. You know?
Sure.
It's like it's
stupid drunk uncle.
Yeah, it's like your Aunt Carol. You know? She's a firecracker, that one.
That one's a firecracker. Shows up to every event, and you just kind of gotta make sure she sits in the corner and you don't go near her.
Yeah.
Maybe you'll say hi every once in a while, but this also is one of those movies, just like one of my last thoughts on it, because I don't want to... This is one of those movies that is hard for us to talk about, I think, in terms of... I just feel like it's hard to talk about.
Because we're men.
Because we're men, I guess, maybe, potentially, but like... I just, I want to make sure we're conveying correctly, and like, because me and Luke have viewpoints that,
Flame us on Instagram if you disagree with us.
Don't flame us on Instagram, please. And if honestly, if you disagree with us, you probably suck. So like, maybe no.
I like how Alex is like, listen, we're trying to be mindful, but also fuck you.
Fuck you for not being mindful. You know what I mean? You know what I mean. Am I not making sense?
I don't know.
Okay.
I'll have to listen back to this and let you know.
Yeah, I feel... Oh, God. But Sandra Bullock, going back into the conversation of the movie, really is a character actor.
Oh, she's great.
Like I didn't realize I've seen Sandra Bullock honestly in so little. Like The Proposal, I've seen her in, and Bird Box.
Yeah, I forgot about Bird Box.
Yeah, those are like and I guess The Blind Side too. Just those three movies I've seen her in. But, like, I just never expected to see her in kind of, like, a goofy, silly role like this. I haven't. And it was so much fun watching her perform.
Very much so.
Lasting thoughts, Luke.
What do you... lasting thoughts of the film for me?
Yeah. But if you had something else to say.
Yeah. Nostalgic, indicative of its time, problematic in some ways, generally funny.
Cool.
That's my take on Miss Congeniality. Are we giving it a rating on this?
Yeah, we have to give it a rating.
So I give Miss Congeniality, I'm going to give it a 7.2.
Okay. Moving along here. And that's the same as your nostalgic kind of deal. It's still just kind of
yeah,
7.2.
Same thing.
Okay.
I think there's it's kind of junk food.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I give it a 3.5.
Oh my god. Our first huge deviation. But you had fun watching this movie. And
I know, like, I laughed out loud at certain things. Yeah, it wouldn't be rated at all if I didn't think it was funny. Like,
damn.
You know what I mean?
It is funny.
It is funny. Yeah, I'm not really gonna... I mean, I guess I can say why. I think Sandra Bullock carries.
Oh, for sure.
Ernie Hudson is great.
Mm-hmm.
There are some very cute... Like, the very end of this movie is very cute, and she, like, wins Miss Congeniality with the other pageant girls. And there's just a lot of camaraderie, and I like the little bit, you think I'm gorgeous, you wanna kiss me. And it's just so cute. And I would have been like... so, yeah. What did I say? 3.5? 3.5.
What's your beef score?
It's like those pork chops we made.
Oh,
recently.
Do you want to explain to the listeners what pork chops
so
you made?
Me and Luke a few weeks ago were like, let's make like a meal. We're gonna make a meal, and we were like, let's get some green beans and some pork chops and some mashed potatoes. And it just kind of went to shit because we went to the grocery store and we got these super thin, tiny pork chops. And I was like, oh, we have seasoning back at the apartment. And I opened the seasoning packet and it comes with a plastic bag. And it's like, put the pork chops in the plastic bag, put the seasoning also in there, make sure there's water in the bag, put some holes in it, and put it in the oven. And I knew better because I'm really good. I'm like a little grill master. But I was like, I'm going to try steaming these fucking pork chops. Yeah, the grill master
fucking basically boiled pork chops.
They were completely white.
Oh, God, they were.
Yeah, and they were just...
They were, like, miscolored, too.
They were miscolored white. The seasoning was very disgusting, and I was just disappointed in myself, but we kind of just ate it, and we're laughing at it, at how bad it was.
Like, powdered gravy and mashed potatoes.
Yeah, Luke put the mashed potatoes and the gravy into one.
It was disgusting.
The green beans had way too much butter.
We could have built a house
beans.
with that with those mashed potatoes.
Oh, man, that was just a train wreck.
So it's similar to that.
It's similar to that, but like it's funny because we laughed it off. It was just a little goof moment. But I will be grilling them next time, and I will not rewatch this movie.
I give it it's like a double cheeseburger.
Okay.
It's like a double cheeseburger, greasy fries.
From where? Or like, is it a fast food double cheeseburger, or like a homemade double cheeseburger, or like?
It's a bar double cheeseburger.
Okay.
At the bar that they went to where they got all the shooters.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like that place. Like it's a kind of like a junk food, like but kind of evening.
This is fucking so accurate. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Okay. Are we good to leave Miss Congeniality where it stands?
I think we're good. Let us know what you guys think about our takes on this one. Alex is horrified because the majority of our listeners are women.
I'm so sorry, ladies. Okay. We're going to break.
Break.
We're back.
We're back from the break.
Back from the break. We're
gonna
talk about
gonna break it.
Gonna break it, baby.
Gonna break it.
We're gonna break it so much.
We're gonna break
it
it
down. We're gonna get some stuff. We're gonna maybe talk about stuff we want to have on the podcast.
What would you pick, Alex?
Ooh, did I go last time? Ew, it's been so long.
I can't remember.
Okay, I'll go first. I want to be sponsored this week on the 6th episode of the Bucket of Beef podcast.
The 6th episode.
By the anxiety poppers.
Oh, the anxiety poppers.
Anxiety poppers.
What do those look like, Alex?
They come in all shapes and sizes, but essentially it's like a big plastic shape that has little bubbles in it, and you can just kind of flip the little bubbles, and it just keeps you distracted when you're feeling anxious.
Are you feeling anxious right now, Alex?
Oh, yeah.
Why are you feeling anxious?
Miss Congeniality made me anxious.
Oh, come on.
It's okay. But Luke handed me the little bubbles, and I feel better. I feel like they're so important in every day. Like, you can keep them at your office. You can keep them in your apartment. You can keep them when you're out and about during the day, whenever you need to just stay busy. You need your hands to stay busy. If I could pick a shape for this to come in, I would make it the shape of a big pencil.
A big pencil?
Yeah. So that
way,
the
whole thing would be a pencil?
The whole thing would be a
pencil.
But it would be a
with
pencil
the
with
bubbles
little bumps? Yeah. So at least people think,
like an octagonal
he's holding
thing.
something that's like, for business use or official some use.
I'm imagining you walking to to a meeting with a big briefcase, and then you pull out this 8-inch long, goofy, thick ass pencil,
and I just have to keep
with a bunch of bumps, like a diseased sex toy.
I do kind of have to keep this away from me most of the time because I will only focus on this.
I use it all the time. This is what it sounds like to all you guys. Oh, that was a loud one. I hope you enjoyed that.
Yeah, they're just little bubbles that pop. So yeah, that is who I want to sponsor us. I don't know if these are branded or anything, but I that would be lovely.
If you are a branded stress
popper,
bubble popper, hit us up, because we got a lot of it.
Yeah. Your turn.
Who is my sponsor? You know what? I want my sponsor to be just my sponsor.
Okay.
Not even for the podcast, just in my daily life. I'll just have a t-shirt that says it for $50 a day, and I'll never wash it. So people know I'm dedicated.
Okay.
Yep, and people are like, wow, if he loves that so much, then I got to see what's going on here. Is M&M's.
M&M's?
I appreciate M&M's. I had M&M's for the first time in what feels like 3 years yesterday. And I was like, this is, I can see why people love this candy. Colorful, crunchy, chocolatey.
Are regular M&M's your favorite M&M's?
No, you want to know what's my horrible, depraved take? You know what my favorite M&M's are?
What?
The pretzel ones.
That's awful! I was expecting peanut butter or the peanut M, because the peanut M&M's are superior.
No, I like the dry ass crunchy ones.
Salty?
Yeah, dude.
That's
the
terrible.
ones that are a 3-to-1 ratio, pretzel over chocolate.
God.
I fucking love them. I love them, and they're so dry. They're so dry all the time. I think it would be torture to eat a single one, a whole packet of them without any water, but I love it. I like the munch and crunch. I like the sweet and the salty.
It's kind of crazy.
You want to hear something really depraved about how much I like sweet and salty things? I like when you use
depraved, because it is depraved.
I'm really exposing myself on the podcast here. I ate I still eat like an animal, but I ate especially like an animal when I was a child. Between the ages of 9 to 11, do you want to know what one of my favorite snacks was?
What?
I would make this snack.
Okay.
Are you ready to hear?
Yeah.
So, in my house, in our house, we would sometimes have, these those disposable half cup coffee cups. You know what I mean? They're maybe 4 inches high and 3 inches wide, or 2. I don't know, whatever dimensions. I would take Honey Nut Cheerios. I would fill the cup up about 2/3 of the way.
Okay.
I would take the rest of the cup and I would fill it up with shredded cheese. I would take that cup. I would shake up said cup. I would eat the contents of this cup with my bare hands.
Are you lying right now?
I am actually serious. You can ask my mother, and she'll probably cry and then say, he did that.
What kind of cheese?
A mixed 4 cheese, shredded cheese.
I'm in shock right now.
Isn't that crazy?
Did you heat up the
Nope.
You just cold shredded cheese and Honey Nut Cheerios?
Yep, cold nut.
Oh, God.
Yep. So all that to say, I think pretzel M&Ms are a superior snack to that. and Mr. M, Mrs. M, they, them,
You know,
please reach
our
out
whole
to
thing
me.
kind of goes together where you can put the little M&Ms in our little
Yeah,
bubble
and
poppers.
little pop.
These would work really well for you because
They wouldn't work well with the pretzel ones because those are some big boys.
some big boys, but you know, it kind of works. You know how they have like the dog tasters where like you put like
Dog tasters?
not dog, that's not what they're called, but they're like mats where you put like the food on the mats and the dogs eat it and it's supposed to keep them distracted and tire them out after you eat.
I've never heard of this.
It's a thing.
I don't have a dog, so
I don't
never
either.
had a dog.
But it would work really well for you specifically because then you would get tired after eating and you wouldn't eat so much.
No. Not being called out for overeating.
No, you don't like overeat. You're
I
just
do.
a big snacker.
I'm a huge snacker.
I've never seen anyone eat like this man.
I just like to taste.
He's just you are like the living cookie monster.
I am, dude.
You're Cookie Monster with Dahmer glasses.
With Dahmer glasses? No. Is that one of my toxic traits?
It's not a toxic trait.
No, it's a trait.
It's a trait.
It's
yeah,
a character
You
quirk.
got the wireframes and you like to eat, and you're the best boy. At least you're not eating brains. You know what I mean?
Nope. And I don't eat the cheese and Cheerio combination.
I will,
anymore.
however, say that sounds really problematic.
Doesn't it sound like someone that would become a serial killer?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm gonna keep an eye out.
Yeah. Well, the clock hasn't struck 12 yet.
Okay, you ready to go back to the show?
Yeah.
Okay.
Back to the show. What's the next movie we're talking about?
Okay. This is one of my all-time.
Alex is going to give the synopsis for this one.
Yeah. It's one of my all-time favorites. This movie came out in 2010. Here we go. In a small town somewhere out west, a tire comes to life and terrorizes a small town, where a small group
Of townies.
Is this mine or
Yeah,
are
I'm
you
sorry,
doing
I'm
it?
being mean.
Where a small group of local officers try to thwart said tire who can blow up people's heads and is on an unstoppable rampage. Will the tire blow up everyone's heads, or will the officers stop the tire? It's weird because that
was
only
a great synopsis.
That's only partially kind of the deal here.
What's so interesting about this film...
Oh, it's called Rubber.
It's called Rubber.
Yeah.
This film is Rubber, and we are going to talk about it. Rubber is such an interesting film. It's so meta.
Can I say something super quick?
Yeah, please.
You want to know the crazy thing?
What's the crazy thing?
Rubber has a 68% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Mm-hmm. What does Miss Congeniality have on Rotten Tomatoes?
41.
Rubber's canonically better than Miss Congeniality. I'm sorry.
It seems like it kind of is, though.
I would say Rubber is more... I think it's
so niche.
It's a better execution of a concept, for sure.
Yeah. It's just such a niche concept. Like, you have to really, know what you're getting into with it, but go ahead.
Well, and they set it up in the beginning, too. Like, the entire... When you're watching the film, one of the actors who plays...
the head sheriff.
Who plays the head sheriff. What's his name? Steven Spinella. Steven Spinella is fantastic. Basically, this character introduces the idea that this film is an homage to the No Reason. Like, why does this thing happen? No reason. Why is our futon brown?
In
no
specific,
reason.
Movies. Why is E.T. brown?
No reason.
Yeah.
Exactly. And this film goes all out in its dedication to no reason. A really fun thing with this film is, like, while all this crazy shit is happening, this tire that learns how to blow things up with its mind, there are viewers of this film that you, the viewer, are watching that are part of the film.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you have a bunch of people, like, sitting in the middle of the desert. They're bird watching, but they're watching the film. They have a set of binoculars. They're talking about the movie. They're giving their takes on the film.
They're like, you can't record it. It's piracy. Don't do it. Yeah, and like they all do a really good job with their characters too.
They do.
Honestly. The dialogue is very blocky. It's very blocky dialogue.
For sure.
Yeah. But so we open with the spectators and the officer being like, we do this for absolutely no fucking reason, so enjoy the film. And we have a good 15 minutes of kind of exploring Robert the Tire waking up
We never get to learn that his name is Robert.
No, but
It's
for some
just-
reason,
everyone knows somehow.
every description, it's like
says
his
Robert,
name
the
is
rubber
Robert.
tire.
Yeah. And he is just like a normal car tire. No,
Why is his name Robert? No reason.
No reason. Exactly. Wow. Just pick that up.
Yeah.
Wow. So then we experience we experience him waking up and learning how to blow things up, and he's just a little destructive maniac. But I think it's so interesting because as much as this movie is about no reason, I want to know why he breathes and sleeps. That's
Have you learned nothing?
I guess not. But like, I don't like watching him breathe. I don't like watching him sleep.
He like showers. He drinks water out of puddles.
So
we haven't seen him
weird.
eat. He has sexual needs.
Yeah.
He like is like totally.
deviant,
He is a deviant. He's a peeper.
He's a peeper. There's an actress by the name of Roxanne Mesquita, and I guess her name is Sheila. I don't think we know anybody's name.
We never really get
in the
told
films,
any
in
of the characters'
film,
names.
And she's just kind of driving around, and Robert sees her driving and is like, let me stop this car real quick. And he uses his telekinetic powers to stop the car, and from then on out, he's pretty much just following her. And she goes and stays at a hotel. We don't know why. No reason. And he goes and just like opens the hotel door and just watches her shower.
And this is also while the spectators are watching Robert watch the woman while they're commenting on the woman who's being watched by the tire.
It's so weird. And then he gets his own hotel room.
He does.
And there is another character who, I guess his name is the accountant, played by Jack Plotnick.
Also great in this film.
And he is just kind of in charge of making sure the spectators are, I guess, wrangled.
Yeah, he's the spectator wrangler. They're not feeding them at this point. These people have been out in the desert for like 2 days.
Yeah.
They're getting a little antsy. I like it when he like picks up the phone and he's like, "Yes, master."
Yeah.
Who's
the master?
No reason.
And there's a turkey in his room.
Yep.
And he cooks the turkey with poison and kills all the spectators.
So that they can stop the movie.
Yeah, because apparently it's going on for too long. There's not enough plot or something.
Well, and all the actors just want to go home. Like, I love Steven Spinella's character because he's like supposed to be playing this no nonsense sheriff who's like really trying hard to like save the day, but the actor couldn't give a fuck and just wants to get home. So he's just like oh my god, like I guess we'll do this. Like,
Hey, but he is the only quote unquote actor who's
aware
of what's going on, that
Yeah.
it is a movie. And like, so okay, where are we at? We are.
So this is after Robert has watched Sheila's character shower.
Yes.
And well, no, this is after the spectators are about to be poisoned.
Yeah.
By the accountant.
By the accountant.
Why is he the accountant? No reason.
No reason. So the accountant brings everyone a turkey, and everyone goes nuts, and they're just like pile driving this turkey, and everyone is trying to get at it. There are probably like 15 spectators, quite a few.
Yeah, probably about 15.
Yeah. And one guy doesn't eat the turkey. He's like, I'm not hungry. And he's like this guy in this wheelchair.
He's like, I'm
he
getting
looks
my
like,
money's worth.
Yeah, he looks like he's like a veteran of some kind. Like he just kind of has that energy. And so Steven Spinella is like, okay, we're over. It's been like 6 hours since the poison could take effect. Everyone's dead, so let's just wrap this up. And all the other actors are like, what are you talking about? A woman just died in this room because this tire exploded her head. And he's like, no. And then there's this whole bit where he's like, shoot me, I'll show you. And he still bleeds.
He does.
He's still like, he's getting shot, and everyone's like, ooh. Like all the other officers are like, ooh, wow, he really just ate that, didn't he?
Well, and it's hilarious because he like goes through all this to convince them that they can go home, and then it's all fake.
Yeah.
And then the accountant comes and is like, the old guy's still alive.
Yeah.
Like, we have to deal with this.
He's like, you just have to keep going.
And then he has to like backtrack. Like, this must have been such a fun role to play.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, it's just so ridiculous.
So he's like, there's an alligator under your arm, officer. And he's like, and?
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah, it's my choice.
Yeah, so this whole thing is so goofy. And Robert jumps into a pool after trying to spy on the girl, and like supposedly he drowns for a little while.
The girl does not die, by the way. It's a housekeeper that gets
the girl he's stalking lives. Yeah.
Yeah, she catches him. She actually peeps Robert in the shower, and then Robert doesn't like that.
No, he doesn't. Yeah. Well, because she like shuts off the water and throws his body
Yeah,
outside.
that's true. He was all clean, and then he got so dirty.
He got so dirty.
Yeah.
We also didn't talk about the little kid and the dad,
Mm-hmm.
which is just such a random little tidbit. But like, the dad is an asshole, and the little kid has like a.
Is this the dad that owns the hotel?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we follow the I guess the guy's little boy, and there's a really funny moment where Robert is looking in like a mirror, and he's like going through all.
He's
the
self-actualizing
after all the deeds that he's done, and then the little boy's like, "Did you do it?" And he like turns around, and he's like, "I just want to know if you did it. Can you hear me? Can you talk?" And Robert's just like supposedly dead-eyeing this kid.
Yeah.
And is like, "I'm not gonna kill you," and then just wanders
Just leaves.
away.
Does he feel remorse in this moment?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Supposedly. Well, does he kills after that though?
He does.
So I wonder if after that he's like, I just want to be left alone.
Yeah.
Because then there's like kind of this manhunt.
Maybe he has a no child killing rule.
I don't think he cares.
No.
I mean, he was killing like birds
and bunnies.
and bunnies and literally everything. He doesn't care.
No.
He doesn't care. But he did save him from the water.
He did.
Yeah.
The kid did pull Robert out.
Yeah.
So maybe that's what it was.
He's like, this is your one.
Mm-hmm.
This is your one save. That's it. So then the officer and the girl Sheila get in a van.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, we are going to try to trap Robert the Tire. And they use a big dummy that looks like Sheila and put a bomb on
It does not look like Sheila. It's a mannequin with a black wig.
I kind of thought the mannequin
Oh my
looked
God.
like her a little bit. They put a bomb on Sheila's doppelganger mannequin and a speaker, and they're in a van kind of far away, and she's like saying random shit into the microphone. Like, you're just
Punish me.
you're a big rubber shit.
You're a big rubber shit.
You're a big rubber
Go
shit.
on, blow my head off.
You pussy.
Did you already say that the mannequin has like C4 strapped to it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I zoned out. I was thinking of
yeah.
the mannequin in comparison to what Sheila actually looked like.
And then there's a funny moment where the guy in the wheelchair comes up and is like, "Hey, this is stupid the way that you guys are kind of going about this."
Yeah, he was a real cynic about film.
Yeah. But he was really enjoying himself, and then the cop is like, "Can you we're good, thank you. Please leave. Bye." Robert blows up the head of this mannequin. Nothing
happens.
The cop is like, "I'm just going to finish this myself," and takes a shotgun inside. And
I like how the old man's like, "Well, you can't do that. What about the bomb?"
he's like, "Fuck the bomb."
Yeah.
I don't care.
He just executes Robert on the spot.
Yeah. So
Police brutality.
Yeah. He kills Robert, and he's like, "That's at the end." And then what happens, Luke?
Robert pulls off his greatest trick yet. Robert reincarnates himself as a tricycle, rides out of the front door of this house. By the way, he has killed the inhabitants of this house and was just like, he's watching NASCAR. He's like watching his people put in the work.
Being slaves to society.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I love all of the imagery of like tires being abused, like near the third act of this film.
Yeah.
Like, he's watching NASCAR, like he's looking at all these guys like burning tires in the desert. But anyway, Robert gets reincarnated as a tricycle. He rides out of the front doors, and the guy in the wheelchair is like, "Whoa, no, I'm just watching this. I'm just a spectator." But he did insert himself as a character.
He did.
So now he's fair game. What does, I'm going to name him Trobert, do? Trobert the tricycle? What does Trobert the tyrannical tricycle do
Wow.
to this man? He pops him.
Pops him
Blows
clean.
up his wheelchair. We got a boot laying down next to the split wheelchair.
He definitely got more powerful because he did make that whole thing explode. I wonder if it's because he like separated himself into 3 separate little tires.
Maybe.
You know?
I think the tassels on the tricycle probably had a little bit of power too.
Yeah.
Do they have tassels? Am I just imagining that?
Maybe. I don't know.
In my memory, they had tassels on the handlebars.
Okay.
The film ends with Robert as a tricycle slow riding to Hollywood with an army of other tires. End film.
End film. They should have made a sequel to this movie.
You think so?
Oh, absolutely. I want to see
Robert goes to Hollywood.
The Tires. Robert goes to Hollywood.
He gets a coke habit.
The Tires take over.
Yeah.
Oh, that would have been awesome. Oh my God. Sheila becomes like a just a badass like Sarah Connor in Terminator.
Ooh, that'd be fun.
That'd be kind of cool. And now the spectators are just like slaves and Tires ride them.
We gotta hit up the director.
I think so too. I think it's Robert Depew.
That sounds right.
I would be shocked if I got that right. I'm gonna find it because now I'm pretty sure I'm right. Cast.
Director
Quentin Depew. Close. What did I say?
Quentin, this is a very fun
Depew.
movie.
Yeah, it's fun.
What were you, so like final thoughts on this film? What do you think? Because we did a lot of like synopsis diving in this one.
We did, yeah. I've seen this movie a bunch before. This is one of those ones where, like, I would never watch this alone. Like, we've had a lot of instances with these movies where you're like, I couldn't watch this alone, but I would like to watch it with people. And a lot of the films that we've watched, I've been like, I could watch this with or without other people. This is one of those ones I'm like, I would never watch this alone. You have to know what you're getting into with it. You have to be into the strangeness and accept that this one is just so odd and out there, and you can talk during a lot of this film, which is great. There really isn't a ton of dialogue.
Well, and in a way, it kind of like encourages you to talk about the movie because you have other viewers of the movie within the movie that are talking about the movie.
Yeah.
You know?
Absolutely. It leaves you with a lot of fun questions even. So, like, post-movie, I mean, this is the first time we've, like, talked about it since we watched it, but I mean, like, there are questions that I'm sure we could talk about for hours, like, why do you think Robert breathes? Why do you think he drinks water? Where does it go? Does he piss? Does he shit? You know? Those questions are important to me. Yeah.
Really hard-hitting questions.
I think about that all the time. All the time. But yeah, this movie is near and dear to my heart. I feel like this is the type of movie that, like, when we got to college for theater for acting and you do like theater of the absurd and things like that, like I could gravitate toward that a lot more easily because of this type of movie.
That makes sense.
Like, you know what I mean?
It's
like,
just so unconventional. Like, it's a very unconventional movie. One of my favorite things about this movie is just like it chooses its concept and it unapologetically adheres to it. Yeah. You know? And honestly, like, there are fun shots in this. There's a lot of really fun like musical inserts within this film. Like, there was definitely effort that was put into this. Yeah. And you can really feel it. And it feels like the people that made it had a lot of fun. Like, and just the absurdity of some sections. Like, one of my favorite parts of this movie is when the accountant tries to get the old man to finally eat. And he brings, like, all these delicious treats, all these delicious things that are, like, clearly poisoned. And the accountant just gets like, oh, I'm hungry. And then he starts eating all the shit, and he's like, are you sure you don't want this? Like, it's so good.
Yeah, like, he's not even thinking. He's telling a story about how, like, he killed his brother. Yeah. Like, smashed his head with a rock. like,
what the fuck?
And he's just casually eating
while he's talking about all this. And then my favorite part of the movie comes where he starts to feel sick. And this man, it literally feels like this man is dying on screen and begging for mercy for 3 minutes straight. Like, it just keeps going. And it just, like, really leans into the absurdity of this whole thing. Yeah. And it's just so fun. It's so fun to me.
It's the type of thing, though, that, like, if you're, like, really high or something, feel free to give this movie meaning. Even if it's, like, you know, the intention isn't supposed to be there, but it's the conversation that kind of matters with this one. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I like it pretty much in all aspects. The community that the movie gives. I feel like that's a good way to say that.
For sure. What would be your score of this film?
It's such a niche film. Yeah. So I feel very allowed to give it a high score. Yeah. Because it's in its own little category. This is a 9 out of 10 for me. 9 out of 10.
That's crazy.
The only reason I feel like it has that 1 point off for me is just some of those musical inserts go too long for me.
Yeah.
But I've seen this movie 1,000 times.
The movie's so indulgent, and I love it for
it is very indulgent. Like, have I not seen it? Had I not seen it so many times, I'd be like, okay, I can do the little musical inserts, but I'm just like, come on, I want to get to the next point, the next plot point. So yeah, that's a 9 out of 10 for me.
9 out of 10.
Yeah.
Dang. I give. I'm thinking about my Miss Congeniality score, and I feel like I'm gonna put this kind of in a similar boat, a little higher. I'll give Rubber an 8.2.
That's a high score.
Actually, that is a high score. And the reason I give it an 8.2 is because they stick to their concept, and they know what the film is, and I think if you're willing to like go with the flow and like see what the director's vision was for this and appreciate it as that, I think you'll have a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Like if you're looking for like something more, it's so strange because the film is so simple in concept, but like it like oddly makes you think.
Yeah, it does. It makes you think.
Which is hilarious. And it's kind of one of those films where like it's fun. It's like fun not to think about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like catching yourself as an audience member, like the whole point of this movie is like that there's no reason, so just like go with it. And like sometimes you find your imagination trying to fight against that.
Yeah.
And like your sense of reasoning fighting against that. And I think that makes the movie more fun for me, at least.
Honestly, this type of movie would weed out a lot of people in my life, like watching it. Because if you're someone who can't
All the basic bitches.
Yeah, not even all the basic bitches, but there are people who would be like, well, I just don't understand. I don't like this. And I'm like, you know what? Then get the fuck out of here.
You got to keep an open mind in life.
Keep an open mind. Love it. Enjoy it. Indulge. Appreciate. You know? So, yeah, I think also just my very last thought. I would love like a behind the scenes of the writer pitching
that
this
would
movie.
be fun.
I would love to see how they pitch
That would
this
be really
movie
fun.
to literally anyone.
Yeah.
Like the crew and stuff, all the actors, like...
Yeah, and like the actors, like Steven Spinella, like is a Tony Award winner.
Yeah.
Like they didn't get like no one on this.
Yeah, no,
film.
they really worked, and yeah, so that would be something I want to talk. I want to talk to the director and writer and Steven Spinella. We're gonna get them on an episode.
Oh yeah.
I think out of all the things that we've said, like we can get Arnie on the episode, or like anybody, like this group of people, I would want the most.
I know that'd be fun.
Yeah,
that'd be fun.
So yeah, that wraps us up. I think. Or
you didn't give.
Oh
your
no,
beef
I didn't give
score.
my beef score. Jeez Louise, it's a big rubber steak.
A big rubber steak.
No reason
charred.
to ever have it in my home. No reason to try to put it in my mouth. No reason to try to season it. But give me that shit. I'm gonna try something with it. You?
I'm gonna give it a toothpick.
What?
You want to ask me why?
Yeah, I do. Why?
No reason.
Thank you for joining us on the 6th episode of the Bucket of Beef Show. Again, my name is Alex Morrison.
My name is Luke Hodson.
And make sure to check us out on Instagram and Facebook at Bucket of Beef Show. If you want to join us on Patreon, we are actively reviewing every episode of The Last of Us at patreon.com/Bucket of Beef Show. Join us on our polls. You get access to early episodes and exclusive content. We'll see you on episode 7. It looks like episode 7 we will be doing Scooby-Doo.
And
3 billboards
outside of Ebbing, Missouri.
That'll be a really fun one.
That's the opening song for that film.
That's the opening song?
Yep. They go 3 billboards outside. And then there's about a 30-second pause. And they go,
Ebbing,
Missouri.
Yeah. Bye, everyone. Stay
Good and beefy.
beefer.